Over this Memorial Day weekend, Adin Ross got to host his brand risk, essentially influencer boxing event, his 14th, which I didn't know there were 13 others before this one. Like I said earlier, this is an influencer boxing event. He had things like NFL players and NBA players boxing out, as well as a few, let's say, classic influencers like Super Hot Fire, famous for Super Hot Fire.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
And a popular early 2000s singer by the name of Ray J. And those two influencers specifically duked it out, and it appears that the match was supposed to have been rigged. And people are pretty confident about this fact because immediately after the match concluded, while they're still, in the ring, Ray J just kind of admits to it.
Yo, I thought we had a plan.
Now, before I show you guys the match fixing, I also wanted to bring up one of the commentators, Sean Strickland, who was there. He's a very well-known MMA fighter. People like him, people really don't like him. Now, he ended up walking out during the event saying that it was super shameful and all this terrible stuff. And I just kind of wanted to show you guys that and then show you his behavior and his candor while he was, commentating this event. I'll leave some timestamps to help you if you just want to jump over to looking at the match fixing stuff later on in the video. But before we get into this, if you're new here, consider subscribing. It helps me out a ton. Additionally, if you end up enjoying this video, please be sure to leave it a like. Perchance a hype afterwards helps it get in front of a lot more people. But regardless of if you do any of that shit, just thank you for watching. Now, this is a bit out of chronological order, but I think it makes the most sense here. So to start things off, this is just, during the event, they had brought in the lookalike, or at least the lookalike of Jeffrey Epstein showed up to the event. They also had a Fat Diddy lookalike at the event. And I'm just going to show you guys some of the clips of Sean Strickland here talking about, he's saying, I got to go home and look myself in the mirror. God, I hate myself. This might be the most shameful thing I've ever partaken in.
What brought you to Brand Risk 14?
I got invited. It's a great event. It's great content, great people, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're my boy, man. Listen.
Big shout out to Adin Ross. He's the man.
Adin Ross, that's who invited you to the fight? Okay. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna keep it real. You were caught. We own your ass, and you and let's cut the camera back to Adin. How is the island sold? Or
all right, Sean. What do you think about that, Sean?
I was asking if you ever feel shame. I got to go home and look myself in the mirror. I really, it's hard, bro.
Sean, you want to wear it?
I'm not wearing fucking jewelry, dude.
Yo, Sean's a big fan of that Epstein guy. He told me.
Yo, who wants it?
Yeah. There's only one pedophile who ain't me.
Here.
Yeah. But the Jew was the one that probably filmed
Yeah,
it.
what
are you talking about?
God, I hate myself. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The most shameful thing.
This is probably the most shameful thing I've ever done in my entire life.
I swear. All right, now look at no next. Ready?
Sorry, America.
He's got no neck.
Bro, where do you
Nobody can choke himself.
dude?
Now, I do have to agree with Sean to some degree. A lot of the event stuff that I have seen that has surrounded this, they even had like little people fighting at one point. It was just kind of bizarre and just not really my taste in entertainment. I know there are people that do find it entertaining, and it just really is not my cup of tea. So to some degree, I understand Sean's point there. Wow, he's maybe a bit disappointed in himself because he just doesn't think it's cool. He refers to it also in some other clips as like a very much a circus atmosphere, and this ends up leading him to presumably leave the event while it's taking place, and he takes to, I believe, Instagram or Snapchat stories and starts chatting about how disappointed in himself he is, how ashamed he is.
I've never been a part of anything so shameful in my life, and I hate myself, and I feel like less of a man after being here. Oh God, why did I agree to this? I got to get the fuck out of there, man. I'm sick to my fucking stomach. That is fucked up. This is the most fucked up thing I've ever witnessed in my entire fucking life. I gotta go home and look myself in the mirror after that. I've never done anything so shameful in my life being a part of this. Sorry, guys. Try to hide with a friend, and next thing you know, his dignity is gone.
So given his very clear, disgust for this event, and he's very clearly just upset with not only the event, but himself for even showing up to it, You would expect that his behavior while he was at the event was probably a bit more timid, and that was not the case. I think I'll just show you my favorite example from the evening here, where during an event or right after two people were boxing, one of them was like, hey, you know, my grandma had passed away, and this is how Sean had responded to that while commentating over their fight.
My grandma passed away a couple of days ago. I did this for her, and this means the world to me. Thank God, thank everyone.
And the guy with the dead grandmother, bro, what an embarrassment. Your grandmother's looking down. Bro! So sad.
He's gonna finish. Oh! He's gonna finish him.
You what the fuck? I'm just saying, dude, if you were that kid's grandmother looking down, what are you thinking, dog?
All right, let's get on with the halftime performance.
Sad, dude.
Adin, you did ask him to be up here, okay?
Bring out the titties.
Holy shit, man.
Now, I have to assume this was more of a building feeling for Sean, that this didn't just start out right at the beginning of the night, because I have one more clip that I'm going to show you. There are plenty. Truly, you could just search his name on X and you'll find plenty more. I just don't really want to have to go through censoring them or really kind of comment on them, because I think the point is made with just these two.
No, I'm leaving. I'm sorry, America. I was invited. I like the Jew, you know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand why the Jews get a lot of hate after being here.
What the fuck? Stand him up.
It is a good guy.
I like that.
Just not really my cup of tea, but I'm very curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. To me, it just comes off a bit disingenuous for him to be, you know, saying it's terrible in one hand. At the same time, his behavior just doesn't really seem to match this message that he's trying to put out towards the end, or you know, changing tunes about how he feels about it. But that leads us into the much more controversial and potentially very illegal part of the event, which was this fight that took place between Super Hotfire and Ray J. Now, the first thing that people thought was a bit weird was that in the first round of this fight between the two of them, Super Hotfire never put a punch down onto Ray J. He never threw a punch at him, and it was really strange. Like there were just none sent Ray J's way. And then in the second round, kind of out of nowhere, Mr. Fire ends up knocking out Ray J. And afterwards, you know, during the little afterwards thing where they both get a chance to talk on the mic, Ray J does not seem super happy. As a matter of fact, he seems very upset with Super, not for, you know, just knocking him out, but for something that he doesn't seem to quite just get out with it. Let me just show you.
Yo, I thought we had a plan. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get nobody in trouble, but damn, my nigga. We took a L tonight.
No, we didn't take shit. Your ass was over here.
I gotta talk to the nigga about
Y'all talk backstage. Super.
money we lost.
We didn't think you was gonna win. So how y'all lost money?
Wow.
Hey, I ain't gonna, that's a good method though. If I got my ass knocked out, I'd be like, nigga, you fucked up. Look at that.
I can't see it, my nigga.
You got one of them cartoon lumps. You know when I love you, dog.
As you heard there, he's like, hey, you know, don't want to say anything, don't want to get people in trouble, but I need to talk to him. Like, things were supposed to go different. Literally the start of that clip. I thought we had a plan. That sounds like fixing. That sounds like fixing the match and, you know, having it go a certain way and paying out on bets that you made. And then later in the clip, you heard it was a bit cut off. But if you listen very closely, he says, do you know how much fucking money we just lost? And the person that's kind of doing the chats with them, interviewing him, made fun of the giant lump on his head from when he got knocked out. He's like, no, you lost. And it seems very clear that something went on behind closed doors, that they made an agreement of some kind, and that agreement did not end up getting fulfilled. And it kind of makes sense given that Supa did not strike him during the first round. And so clearly, I would presume here that maybe he kind of realized that it looks way too fake at this point and he just said, fuck it. Or maybe he bet on himself and didn't tell Ray J, and now he just cashed out hella. But on top of that, we also don't know, you know, who else might have been in on this. But Adin Ross did end up making a follow-up, announcement or kind of chat about it on his live stream, addressing that he is investigating, you know, between Ray J and Supa as to what went on.
I need to figure out what the fuck went on, bro. I do. Ray J, obviously what he said after the fight, Super Hot not throwing a fucking punch, like in the first round. We need to look into that. We need to investigate that. Super Hot has been nothing but a great fighter, and he's been great. And Super looked like himself in the second round. Now, do I know why Ray J said what he said? No, I don't. and we're going to figure it out. Jordan and I had taken it very seriously. We don't like that shit. It wasn't, the actual fight wasn't rigged. Like, he knocked Ray J out. He might have been like, oh, bro, like, we must spend money. If Super got knocked the fuck out, or if Super lost, that would have been a different discussion, but Ray J got knocked out. So, technically, the fight wasn't fucking with people's money, because Ray J did knock him the fuck out, when supposedly, oh, you weren't supposed to do that, bro. We took a loss that night. So that's my whole point.
Now, I see Adin's logic here. Also, I feel like, I don't know, you can't really expect to get an honest answer or an honest assessment of the situation from Adin since he hosted the event. Realistically, it would kind of be stupid given how much money Adin makes for him to, just try to make a winning bet, a rigged bet on a influencer boxing match. But I mean, Jake Paul was probably doing that shit with Mike Tyson, so who's to say? But his logic is a bit flawed when it comes to this. Well, it wasn't actually rigged because it seems clear that, it was supposed to be rigged on Ray J's side of things, where Ray J was supposed to win or maybe go longer or something, as clearly based on how he reacted after he lost. And so Adin's making the point, well, Super won, so it wouldn't actually be rigged. But we don't know that. And it really is just kind of all tainted once those talks have gone down, because at the same time, Ray J is expecting things to go a different way, and Super, knocked him out. So how could we know that, Ray J was actually going to get knocked out when I could presume that based off of whatever agreement he thought they had prior, he was not as attentive. He wasn't as alert. He wasn't, keeping his guard up in the same way that he would have had he not gone into it with the expectation that it was going to go a different way. I think either way you slice it, this is rigged. And so now you're not really going off of their athletic prowess, these two influencers, and now you're going off of these mind games that they're playing because it seems like they were fucking rigging it. So I don't really agree with Adin being like, well, it seemed to be rigged one way and it went the other, so it's not. I think the entire thing has just been kind of tainted, and people should be getting their money back for that fight one way or the other. I think he's trying to just do a bit of damage control, and I'm honestly very curious to see if there's anything that's actually going to come out of that. But at the same time, realistically, he's probably just addressing it now, and then it will probably never be talked about again. But if there's an interesting update in regard to it, I'll be sure to let you guys know. If you enjoyed this video, like I said earlier, leave it a thumbs up, give it a like. I'm going to start doing magic content soon. So if you want to check that stuff out, join the Discord and I can give you notifications when we do that. But that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy your Memorial Day. I'll see you guys later. Adios. Peace. Bye.